Eliza Bird was born in the U.S., but taken by her American parents to the country of Iran at age 5 and lived there on and off for the next 20 years. She attended a school run by missionaries of the United States Presbyterian Church, which followed an American curriculum. The majority of the student body was Jewish refugees from Iraq, with American and Iranian students forming two other large groups. There were students of many different religions and nationalities, and the school prided itself on being international and respectful of all. Special programs were held each year to celebrate UN Day. Her speech is titled, Speaking Up Honestly. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me welcome Eliza Bird.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The first time I came to this Toastmaster meeting, and you all stood up and said the Pledge of Allegiance, I cringed. I almost didn't come back. I wanted to speak up about my concerns about the recitation of the pledge, but I was new and I wanted you to like me, so I didn't say anything. But I continued to fret. And my negative feelings wouldn't go away, so I decided that today I should speak up. So how did the pledge come to be? In the late 1800s, there was a move to come up with a pledge that would promote patriotism. The most popular pledge was written by Francis Bellamy, who was a Baptist minister and a Christian socialist, and stated, I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a socialist, Bellamy had initially considered including the words equality and fraternity, but decided against it, knowing that the state superintendents of education on his committee were against equality for women and African Americans. The pledge, as we say it in this club, was formally adopted in 1942, except the words under God were not then part of the pledge. The words under God were first suggested by Louis Albert Bowman in 1948, but it wasn't until 1954 when President Eisenhower, at a service to commemorate Lincoln's birthday, heard the addition of the words under God. And he had just been baptized a Christian the year before. So he thought, that's great, that's what we need to do. And he had Congress pass the necessary legislation, and he signed the bill on Flag Day that year to add the words under God to the pledge. At that time, the United States was fighting the Cold War, and there was also a swell of patriotic feeling. Having the pledge to have the pledge include under God struck a blow against the godless communists. Now, the U.S. Constitution guarantees U.S. citizens certain rights. Under the First Amendment, it says, Congress shall make no law establishing a religion or prohibiting the free exercise of religion or preventing freedom of speech. And the 14th Amendment says a state must not deny anyone equal protection of the law. So the pledge as we say it is, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So what's my problem with that? Well, first of all, I don't like the idea of pledging allegiance to a flag. I mean, yeah, if someone grabs it and starts running around, I'm not going to, like, do whatever they say just because they have the flag. One nation under God. I'm almost 68. I don't even know if God exists. In my opinion, if as Americans we truly believe in freedom of religion and separation of church and state, it's simply inappropriate to refer to the U.S. as one nation under God. Liberty and justice for all? Hardly. The U.S. has more incarcerated people than any country in the world. Though African Americans and Hispanics make up approximately 32% of the U.S. population, They comprise 56% of all incarcerated people in the States. Pledging allegiance to the United States of America, I love the U.S. I'm grateful to be a citizen. But a person from another country might wonder why a Toastmasters International Club would have its members say a U.S. pledge. To me, to pledge allegiance to any nation is to say, my nation, right or wrong. And I'm not willing to do it. In fact, if a law was passed that said I had to pledge allegiance to the United States of America, or I would be kicked out of the country and lose my citizenship, I'd go to Canada. But then if Canada didn't exist, I'd probably make the pledge, knowing I was lying, which is something I normally try to avoid. So what does Toastmasters say about the pledge? They say, the decision to open a club meeting with an invocation or pledge is made by the majority vote at a club's business meeting when a majority of active members are present. So, thank you for listening and allowing me to speak honestly. I don't know whether this club has voted on the issue of whether to say the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance. If it was voted on some time back, I would say the times, they are changing, and it's time to revisit the issue of whether the majority of current club members wish to continue the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. flag, to the United States, and including the expression of one nation under God. If we do continue it, I request that the pledge be printed out and given to visitors and newcomers with a clear direction that reciting the pledge is optional. On a personal level, for all the reasons I've expressed, I will continue to refrain from repeating the pledge and will remain reluctant to invite guests to the club. I'm grateful to have this forum where I'm able to freely express my thoughts and concerns. Thank you.